Today, we are talking about something many women are really worried about: becoming financially stable. Not just much you make, not just how much you owe, not just how much is in the bank. We are talking about what it means to become financially stable in today's world. When prices are high, life is moving so fast, our family needs are real, retirement feels much closer than it used to, and many women are still trying to figure out how to build a future while surviving the present day.
Are you really ready for this? And you're not even trying to fight for yourself.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't your fault.
You got to take some action.
Hey, my Momafey family. Come on in. Your journey has brought you here. Take your seat and relax, because the next couple of minutes will change your life. Now let me introduce myself to some. I am Momafey, and I am on a mission to elevate women who are becoming, women who are growing into themselves in real time, women who hold families, careers, and relationships together. I bring my lived experience as a wife, a mom, a nurse, a leader, a coach, and a woman who have lived through many of these seasons myself, and I'm still living through them. Now, this podcast is for women who knows she is becoming and is ready to understand what that all really means. This episode or this podcast today is for the woman who has been saying, I need to get my money together, and I need it to stay that way. Because financial stability is not only about having a lot of money. Financial stability is about having a plan, having choices, and having enough money and assets, things that hold their value. And so you can make decisions that support you today, but more importantly, that will hold you through all of your tomorrows. And many women are not being careless with their money. However, many are being stretched with all the constant changes that there is and more to come. Because most of us are stretched, distracted with so many things, these are some of the results that we are now experiencing. You buy because you are tired. You ignore the bank account because you do not want to feel stress. You keep the subscription because you forgot about it. You help somebody else before checking if you can really afford it. You delay retirement planning because you think I don't have enough, or it is too late to start now, or it is too confusing and hard. And another one is because I keep messing up, I find myself being a little bit stable, and then now something happens, something come along, and now I'm no longer stable, but I feel unstable. But today, we're going to bring it to the light, not with shame, not with judgment, and not to make you fear. So here are some simple steps that you can really use. And so first, let's talk about what financial stability really means. Financial stability means you know what is coming in. You know what is going out. And you know what must be protected, like food, having shelter, utilities paid, and the things that will help you to produce income, like, for instance, transportation if you work outside the home, internet if you work from home, and all of the essentials to help you to run a business if that is your primary source of income. And you know what needs to change, what needs to be built towards, and it means your money is not just reacting to life. You're not waiting for the bills and expenses to come in each week. What it really means is responding to a plan that is individualized, that meets your needs and your family needs, and that is constantly being adjusted. So it's very individualized based on your life. It also means that you can look at your bills and tell yourself the truth. And it means you can make choices before a crisis forces you to make them. And finally, it means you can prepare for emergencies, retirement, healthcare costs, family changes, and life transition with more confidence. And for women, this really matters most. So today, I want to give you 4 simple answers. These are not complicated. These are not meant to overwhelm you, but these are practical steps for busy women who need a clear place to start. And for those of you who have started and you are on this journey, it's just a reminder of how to encourage you to stay on that journey. So the first step is to know your real money picture. Not the picture you hope is true, not a maybe or iffy, and if I do this or if I get overtime or if. It's knowing the real picture and not the picture you are avoiding looking at. Because stability is going to be a dream and never a reality in your life. Next, you need to know your income, your bills, your debt, and how much you are wasting. Because many of us are wasting so much. Not just money, but look at the wasted leftover food and drink. We're wasting things such as the little left in the lotion bottles, the soap containers, the empty containers, and we're going buy a whole new one. Many of us waste on lights. We leave the lights on in rooms. We leave plugs left in and things charging. That is wasting our utility. Many are wasting gas by going out to run errands without intention and going back and forth and not really paying attention to while I'm out. Let me get everything while I'm out. It's also taking a real look at your savings, your retirements, your credit, and your regular spending habits. And little adjustments will lead to great gains. So start small. That may sound like a lot, but you are going to make it even more, and I'm going to make it rather even more simple. So here, start with the 4 numbers that you need to know. 1 is what is coming in, everything that is coming in. More importantly, what is going out, everything that is going out. And what do I owe? And what have I saved everywhere that I have something saved. That is your starting point. So this week, you will want to look at your last 30 days. Look at your bank account, look at your card statements, look at your cash apps, your payment apps, your online shopping, Zelle, your subscriptions that you have, and those automatic payments if you have those as well. Ask yourself, where did my money go? What did I spend from stress? And where did I spend when I felt guilt? Where did I spend because I was just tired? And where did I spend because I did not actually have a plan? And then where did I spend because I wanted to just make myself feel better for the moment? And where did I spend on things that truly supported my life? This is not about beating yourself up. This is about waking yourself up. Because once you see the pattern, then you can change the pattern. The second step is building a needs first spending plan. I did not say a punishment plan. And I didn't say a plan that takes all the joy out of your life. I said a needs first spending plan. And in a needs first spending plan, it means your money covers what protects your life before it covers what makes you comfortable according to how you feel. What do I mean by that? Your needs are housing, food, utility, transportation, and basic clothing. And it depends on your health as to whether healthcare is going to have to be one of those basic needs. Because if you rely on insulin, you rely on blood pressure, you rely on dialysis, or anything that you have to sustain life, then your healthcare is a part of that need, and health insurance and health in your budget has to be priority as well. So this plan is going to be very individualized based on your needs and your lifestyle. That's why insurance, if the bulk of what you do requires transportation, then car insurance is going to be a need. And then once you have identified those needs and have put a plan in place to meet those needs, that is your first start towards financial stability. Then we can add other insurances, our debt payments, because remember, debt is you're paying on old things that you've already spent, and it's helping your credit score to some extent, but it's not helping you as far as when emergency and things like that happen. You need to have that savings. And for those of you who are looking for retirement, you need to have that retirement plan if you are able. Now, your wants are the extras. And these are extras, believe it or not. That is eating out. That is shopping for other things other than your food. That is extra subscriptions to all of those plans that we like that help make our life feel comfortable and that are in many cases entertaining. And that includes our beauty spending. We spend a lot of money on beauty products. And then that includes travel and gifts, believe it or not, because a lot of times we spend a lot of money on buying gifts. And then that also includes all of those events that we feel like we want to go to, which also includes impulse buying. And that is a part of impulse buying. And impulse buying can really cause our financial stability to be off and our budget to be off, because we hear about something that is great, something that is on sale, or we tell ourselves this is a one-time concert of the year, so we gotta go to this particular concert, or this is a once-in-a-lifetime event, and so we have to go all out on this event. And in the process, because things that are maybe enjoyable now, you will end up regretting it later if you do not have the means to do it. So yes, it was fun and it was great and exciting, but the day after, the week after, 2 and 3 weeks after, now you are in crisis mode. So it is up to you. A little sacrifice today will lessen your regrets tomorrow. Now, let me say this with care. There is nothing wrong with enjoying your life. You really do deserve to rest. You deserve to feel and to look beautiful. You deserve to celebrate. You deserve to have nice things. But enjoyment should not keep stealing from your ability to become financially stable. And if every treat turns into stress later, it will not really be a real treat. Or if it is a temporary escape plan, it will finally end up and lead many cases to depression and despair. So we need to see that cycle. So a needs first spending plan helps you to ask better questions. Do I really need this now? Can I afford this without creating stress? Is this really helping my future? Am I spending from peace or pressure? Because pressure spending will make you buy things that you do not need, and as we say, you will end up regretting it later. Pressure will make you say yes when your budget has really said no. Pressure makes you keep up with people who are not helping you build. But when you have purpose spending, it will help you to slow down. Purposeful spending will help you to choose wisely. And purpose spending will remind you that your future matters the most. So remember, most women are not financially unstable because they do not work hard. Many are putting in the hours and more, but it is leaking out because of being tired, wanting relief, wanting a break from the budget that feels so tight. Which brings me to the third step, which is protect your future self. Your future self is depending on you to make a good decision today. You and I have to stop acting like later will never come and it will take care of itself. Later still will need a plan. And if you cannot implement these things today, still plan for it. Why? So that when the opportunity comes, you will take that piece of or that lump sum of money that you get, whether it's from an income tax or whether it's from somebody, a gift, wherever it comes from, that overtime, wherever it comes from, you will save it, a piece of it for tomorrow. And this is hard because of many a times, because of everything that we're going through, we want that relief right now. But our retirement needs a plan. Our health care needs a plan. Emergencies need a plan. Housing needs a plan. Long-term care needs a plan. And for women who grew up seeing money disappear fast, saving may feel hard. For women who have had financial trauma, even looking at numbers can feel heavy. But financial confidence grows when you learn to do at least the first step that we talked about. So here's the fourth step. The fourth step is increase your income and your financial knowledge. Because budgeting matters, saving matters, that debt management matters as well. But for many women, the problem is not only spending. The problem is income. So if the cost of living keeps rising and your income stays the same, you may feel like you are doing everything right, and you probably are, but still falling behind. So part of becoming financially stable is asking, how can I increase my income in a way that will fit my life right now? And that may be building a side income. And we hear so many things about building these side incomes. But building one that does not drain your health and your strength. Side jobs like babysitting, cleaning homes. I know of a young lady, she was a nurse. But guess what? When she needed extra incomes, She actually had homes, personal homes that she went and cleaned for people once or twice a week, writing resumes for some people, or bartering with some people to help save. Maybe you have family members or friends that need something that you have, and maybe they have something that you need. And so you will barter. I remember once in my life, I needed health care. I needed child care. So someone else didn't have transportation, and they needed someone to pick up their kids. So they did child care for me, and I went and picked up their child from school every day. So these are some of the things that will help save you. And these are the things you can do when you feel up to it. Some of these things you can do it on a need basis, and just like some people do Uber and Instacart, they do it on a needs basis. But however, using your skill to help even a small business for a small fee, or your church, maybe there are some things that they need your skill for, and they can pay you a small amount. But here's the thing, that's what people mean by really having a side hustle. This also means that if you're going to do this on a regular basis, you need to have the legal papers to be able to report this income. And in order to do this, sometimes, and for some of you, even when you consider that there are other levels on the current job that you're on, and you want to go up to another level, it may also mean that you have to learn a new skill. You have to get a certification that you don't have. You got to apply for a better position. And for the few of you who really, really know how to do this, because sometimes this is not recommended, is starting a small business. But if you start that business, it has to be something that you already have clients, you already have the means of how you're going to already make that money, and you already have that coming in. But I would caution you about starting that small business if you don't really know for sure 100% that you're going to may get income right away. And so some may sell digital products, but then again, with that as well, be careful, because you don't want to get a bunch of digital products and it does not sell. Same thing for coaching and consulting. So you can use your professional experience in this new way, but some of those you have to make sure that you have the clientele, or the people were actually going to buy. But an easier way is to, if you are on a business, or you are on a 9 to 5, is finding other ways on that 9 to 5 to increase your income level. But here is the wisdom. Do not build that extra income with no plan. Because if you earn more but you spend more, you're still going to be stuck, and you may end up in a worse situation. So if you start a business or a side hustle, you have to have a way to track that money, and you still can't be guessing. You must include the cost of starting that side business to make sure you will have enough to cover the expenses of running that business. That means gas, that means everything that has to be included in that. Even if you take on an extra job, you got to include the gas and all the costs that it's going to take for you to do that extra. Otherwise, you would need to look into your current budget and find ways to cut spending. And you have to also make sure that not only that it covers the expenses, but you have to make sure that it is going to earn a profit, and you're going to actually have a profit. And don't forget to include the taxes that you're going to have to pay on that extra income, and how it will impact any other things that you have in your life. Now, this is the most important thing to becoming financially stable, and it is knowing when to pivot, when to stop spending, and when to invest and where. When you see layoffs, spending cuts, it is time to take inventory of your status. Make sure you are looking at your investments and assets as well. If you are spending money, make sure to keep your debts low enough that you can pay them off. Knowing enough about your financial status and keeping up with the latest information on laws, on rules, and trends from real resources that will impact your life. And here's a hint. Those real resources are usually written. They are usually not in your latest headline news. They are usually not in all of the talk that you hear. They're usually not in just even some of these podcasts. The real resources are usually written, and there usually are things that you have to look up that are local. Many times there are not only trends that are going to affect you in a negative way, but there are also opportunities and funding that can come your way through your local city, through your county, through your state, and through your federal, and through other sources. But you will not know that they are available, because if you're only getting your news from and your from headlines and from depending on others, you will miss out and it will cost you. And that is the balancing act that takes place in those who are financially stable and those who are hit with every crisis and debt that comes that impacts them, that comes their way, and only are responding to crisis and disasters. So one of the key things that I'll leave with you today is that your debt cannot outweigh your assets, and you need your assets to outweigh your debt at all times. Now, let me do our weekly check-in. So where are you in your becoming goals this week? Did you start? Did you stay consistent? Did you complete one thing that you said you were going to do? And if you did, I want to congratulate you. Do not make your progress small. If you showed up for yourself, that matters. If you completed a weekly goal, I want you to celebrate that. Not with spending money though, but just celebrate. Clap for yourself, pat yourself on the back, but celebrate that in a way that is not going to impact your finances. And for those of you who have not started yet, I am still talking to you too. What is the becoming goal you're wanting to start this week? Not next month, not when everything calms down, because guess what? You will never start. But this week. And maybe here are some of the goals that you might want to start this week. Maybe your goal is to look up your last 30 days of spending, and that's hard. But once you start, you'll be glad when it's over, because it is going to be enlightening to you, meaning it's going to wake you up and you're going to be able to see clearly what is really going on in your life. Maybe your goal is to cancel one thing that you do not use, even if it's just one. That makes a difference. Maybe your goal is to write down all of your bills, or maybe it is to start an emergency fund. And maybe your goal is to check on a retirement account. Now you know that even though you may be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, you still need to think about starting that retirement account. And that may mean if you are a person, or even if you're self-employed, you can still look into how do you have a a retirement account, a savings account, all of those things. Start looking into it now. And maybe your goal is to ask your job about those benefits. If you have those benefits at your particular job, they're not going to come out and tell you. A lot of times they will say it real brief, but they won't tell you that there are opportunities. So go on your work intranet, which is usually have a website that are for employees. If you have a certain amount of employees at that job, you can look on their website and see if there are opportunities that you can take advantage of. And maybe your goal is to learn one financial word that you have been avoiding. So it may be to learn more about finances, learn more about how to do budgeting, and to learn about those things. Well, and my becoming goal that I am personally working on this week is my morning routine reset. Because how I start my morning affect how I move through the day. So I can think clearer, I pray better, I plan better, and I move with more intention and information, and it's just a good start to the day. It seems to, and when I stay on my reset, it actually makes my days better. So this week, my morning routines reset is getting back to my routine based on my spiritual needs, my health needs, my sleep, exercise, and organization and time management. And this is an intentional reset. And for those of you, because becoming financially stable is not only about your money, it is also about your habits, your mindset, and your daily routine. So hopefully you will do the same. And it is about the way that you prepare yourself to make better choices. So I just want you to know that women who are becoming needs your money, your mindset, and your morning to stop fighting each other and start working together. Now, you do not have to do all of this and fix all of this in one day. And you do not have to have all of the answers. But you do need to stop ignoring what is keep calling for your attention. So financial stability in today's world is going to require a woman to stay honest, informed, and intentional for a lifetime. The more you practice, the better you will become. And guess what? Your anxiety, your stress, your burnout will lessen. So if this helped you today, then I want you to leave a message and a comment. And I want you to also like and subscribe and let me know that you are becoming what your becoming goal that you are working on. It is never too late. And you can simply put a hashtag becoming in the comments or leave an emoji if that's really going to be easier for you. But show some sign, show some love. But I really want to hear from you. And also, if this reach you can always reach me on Substack. Message me there to connect about your becoming goals, or if there is some topic that you would like for me to share and to talk about that is specific to something that you would like going on. I want to hear from you, and I'll definitely try to include that in one of my series. So I need you all to subscribe to the Motivate Moment at Momafey on Substack.com. And there you'll find 3 podcasts, and you'll find this podcast, which is Momafeyht Becoming Me Podcast. And so you will not miss an episode. And remember we talked about reading? I also have a Becomers newsletter that also accompanies this particular podcast. And it goes into with the weekly topics that I talk about. And so this week, the newsletter is going to be on how to make those financial choices for your future, not just for today, but well into those of you in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s and 60s, and in retirement, the things that you should be working on. And I need you to continue to listen. For those of you who listen on Podbean.com, my website is Momafeyht.podbean.com. And there you can also find 8 different podcast platforms and more, like Spotify, iHeart, Apple, and also to Pandora. And I'm also on Amazon. And if you're ready to track your progress, and to say more about that before I go on, is if you are, please like and on that particular platform that you use, and hit the notification on that platform just to let me know that what platform you're listening on and that you're there. All right. And if you're ready to track your progress, I also need you to get the Momafeyht Goalsetting Journal, which is a template to help you to get started. I tried to make it easy for you so you can it's a PDF that you can print, and you don't have to print the whole thing. You just print off one page, write it out, and keep that for you so that you would know. How do you think I knew about my morning reset? Because I already have it written down. So all I have to do is go back to my template, read it, review it, and then keep making sure that I get back on track. So I also want to invite those of you who want to support what I'm doing and want to be a part and want to go further to become a part of the Becomers Club. Because inside the Becomers Club, you're going to find it's one of the PDFs that I have, and this is a part of a private page that I have going on right now that you will have access to. And one of the PDFs on there is called Simple Smart Steps to Cut Costs, Prioritize Needs, and Regain Control of Your Finances. So on that page is also a lot of other resources to help to keep you growing in your becoming journey. And you also get a copy of the Becoming Journals for free. And also there are discounts that I also provide for you on my new website, which is Momafeyht.com. And of course, follow me at Momafeyht on social media platforms. And also I am live on Thursdays, which is the Becoming Momafeyht Live Conversations. It's Momafeyht Live Conversations, and you can catch me every Thursday. I come to you live. I do talk more about what I'm doing with these podcasts, and I go into more detail, and I usually try to drop you a couple of nuggets on there as well. So tune in and listen to me live, and hopefully we'll get up a community and all of that as well. So next week we're going to be talking about becoming old and how to keep your level of functioning in your body, your mind, your brain, and your finances. And yes, we're also going to be talking about, it was a documentary about the blue dot and about people who had lived well into their hundreds. But get this, these people was active. So we're going to talk about that because many of you, like me, you are in retirement age, and this is the time. Well, you really should start very, very young, because actually what you do when you're young actually impacts how you are right now. But it's never too late to start. So we're going to have that conversation, and you don't want to miss that one, because aging is not just about getting older. It is about learning how to stay present, prepared, and powerful in one of the most important seasons in your life. So I want to thank you for listening today. That is all for now, and I will see you next time.
Are you really ready for this? And you're not even trying to fight for yourself.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't your fault.
So you got to take some action.